The following broadcast is not suitable for children under 3 years of age.
It's time for Clashing Heads.
Breaking news! Trump takes a bath. Orange man turns green. Welcome to Clashing Heads, everybody. All the news, all the opinion, all the rant, all the heartburn, and all the contaminated algae you will ever need for the rest of your life.
Or the rest of the week. Is algae generally just, is there uncontaminated algae?
Well, I don't know if there's uncontaminated or contaminated.
And who planted it in there?
But speaking of contamination, ladies and germs, as some would say, if we're speaking of contamination, and I don't mean the green algae growing in America's reflecting pool. I mean political contamination. And here you are with the great introduction, joining us once again, none other than Righty Jim.
Would you like me to add a flourish to the sound effects for you?
Righty Jim, you haven't been taking a bath with President Trump in that algae-filled reflecting pool, have you?
Because I don't live in D.C. for reason 1247. No.
I don't
think public bathing is allowed in the reflecting pool.
Well,
unless you're a homeless person.
Well, here's the thing. Well, it's public bathing for algae. That's allowed.
It's not publicly bathing. Algae is not a sentient being, but sometimes I wonder if you are. But go ahead.
Righty Jim, what's your take on this algae story?
I don't really have a take. It's not. I covered it in one of my Righty Jim daily briefs.
Well, how did you cover it? What did you say?
I just said I don't understand the left's fascination with this, and because simply they think that they're going to own Trump on it, and it's just not anything that has any relevance to the rest of
what is Trump's fascination? Why are people who just put their hand in the water being arrested for just putting?
Well, do we know they are just putting their hand in? Do we actually know that?
Well, this is what...
We know they weren't pouring chemicals, and I'm not saying they were. I don't know.
No.
I wasn't there. You weren't there.
Let me tell you where I have been there, actually, Righty Jim.
I don't believe I've actually seen it.
Donald Trump has all these conspiracies. It hasn't been a good week for him, you got to admit. But let me just bring up this thing with...
It's been a better week for him than it has for Dan Goldman.
Well, we'll talk about that in a moment. But
and George Conway.
Right. Let me just talk about this algae reflecting pool. So Trump is saying because it's green, there's a conspiracy by left-wingers to undermine his 250th America birthday celebration because he wants it blue, and it should be blue, like as if this is somebody's swimming pool in their backyard.
What color is the ocean, Lefty Al?
Well, the
ocean
blue. The ocean reflects blue. It's not
okay.
Okay. Now
it's blue.
But it's you can't get enough algae to turn the ocean green.
When you look out from your Pebble Beach estate, what color is the ocean you see? You see blue.
I've never been in Pebble Beach, but I have been in Washington, D.C. And I was at
What is your fascination with this? Again.
Well, let me just bring up a point, because it's typical Trump to point fingers at everyone but himself.
Well, I don't think he actually put the algae in there, so I don't really blame him.
He's put this idea that it's somebody who has done harm to his 250th birthday of America celebration.
The point that he's been making is that somebody cut the liner that they
Righty Jim, I've been to Washington, D.C.
You mentioned that 3 times. Is there some relevance to that?
But I didn't mention this part. Do you know what color the algae was when Obama was president?
Green.
The color of the reflecting pool, it was green.
Yes.
And I remarked...
And how much did Obama spend on it?
What are you talking about? That's the natural way it's going to be.
No. Obama did a reclamation.
Money because in typical Trump fashion, let me answer your question. In typical Trump fashion,
Trump has nothing to do with the question I asked you.
Before he speaks, before he does. And so he doesn't realize that in the summertime, that's when algae grows in water.
That's quite possible.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
The question
There's
I
no
asked you
great
is,
conspiracy. This guy who was arrested should throw the book out
let's see if there's real charges or not.
after charges are dropped. He should throw a malicious prosecution against the
He wasn't
DOJ.
prosecuted. It's not malicious.
It's certainly going to look malicious.
You can legally be arrested. Okay, it's not illegal to be arrested.
No,
as we should remind all of the ICE protesters.
Really?
Jeepers.
Okay.
So
Right,
again,
Jim.
to my question about what did Obama spend on trying to fix the algae?
I don't know. I wasn't
$35
there.
million.
Okay.
And guess what? Didn't work.
Didn't work. So why does Trump think that this is
Trump only spent $13 million.
Liberal conspiracy?
So at least he's spending a lot less than Obama spent.
No, that is the most ridiculous argument I've ever heard.
It's actually not. At least
defense of this
Trump
guy.
Trump did it for a third the budget that Obama did.
Maybe Trump should have read a little history lesson that Obama spent $30 million, and maybe that's a reason
35.
not to do it. Not to spend any money.
I'm pretty sure he's well aware that doing what Obama did is a good lesson.
Yeah.
To not
Did
do
you ever
things.
hear of the saying, Righty Jim, spending good money after bad? I mean, come on. This is exactly what Trump has done. We can
So
segue
again, what is
into the
your
Iran
fascination?
war.
What is your fascination with this?
Yeah. My fascination is it hasn't been a good week for Mr. Green.
That's not an answer to my question.
Well,
Why are you fascinated? I mean, is this because MS Now tells you you're supposed to be fascinated?
No.
Is this because CNN tells you you're supposed to be fascinated?
Hold on.
Is this because this is the most important story to the American public, who are now seeing, luckily, lower gas prices, but still higher gas prices?
Do you like my theme of the show is that there's
a theme? I did not know there was a theme.
We have a theme. We have a theme. Is that green is the new orange. Okay, so there we are. So we've got. Now I
understand why you're not a comedy writer for a life.
Oh, come on, that's good stuff.
That's not good stuff.
It's very good. We're talking about the orange man is now green. Okay, I mean, and he's not green with envy.
I don't think he's really green. He's
green.
He's not bathing in the reflecting pool.
I think he's been taking a sip or two. Okay,
he only drinks Diet Coke. You know that.
Yeah, well, Diet Coke. He doesn't drink Mountain Dew.
He drinks Diet Coke. The first time I ever saw Mountain Dew, I was quite shocked at what it looked like. Because you drink it out of a can. No one, I was a kid. I didn't pour it into a glass. I drank it out of a can.
God.
And the first time I poured it into a glass, wow, that looks really like something else.
It's green.
No, it was yellowish green.
Oh, yellowish. That's right.
Yes.
It was I haven't had it. You can tell. I haven't had it.
I'm going to just keep drinking out of the can because I really don't want to know what this looks like.
But you don't want to know what's in it because it's probably about 50 grams of sugar.
Oh, well, that was when you were kids and nobody cared about what you were.
Yeah, that's true.
There's this great Instagram clip that I've come across a couple times. It's called Parenting in the 80s. And it's like there's a mother who's sitting there and her daughter's at the pool and your daughter reaches for sunscreen and she picks it up. Sunscreen? Oh, no one likes a pasty girl. Get rid of this. And then it's like she's laying in bed. It's 10 o'clock. Do I know where my children are? And she's like, no, the bike helmet. Get the bike helmet off. You're going to have flat hair. It's just great. It's just great things from, There's another one which goes, no.
What? And another clashing head you have to send all this to, of course.
Yes. Okay, so what
are
we
away on secret mission assignment? No one speaks of.
Moderator Mike, we miss you. Please come back.
Yeah, Moderator Mike is not with us now. He is on special assignment, but no one knows what that assignment is.
That's why it's special, Lefty Al.
It is a special assignment, and Moderator Mike would, I'm sure, have things to contribute about algae and reflecting pools,
or not, because no one except you seems to really care about
it. I just find that this president just keeps on digging himself more and more.
Because you have TDS, according to the AI.
According to him, not according to anyone who doesn't have TDS.
Speaking of somebody who actually doesn't really have TDS, who actually might be a quasi bro of President Trump, the Mondami effect in New York City. The New York City Civil War.
Let us begin with elections that happened on Tuesday. By the way, everyone in our
I'll have elections that happen on Tuesday for 600, please.
Yeah. last Tuesday. We Clashing Heads is, we are.
It's only last Tuesday, depending upon when
We're
you post
scaling. We're expanding. Clashing Heads has announced that it is beta testing its app. Have you been to the beta test yet, Righty Jim?
Well, I was your first beta tester.
You were my first beta test, but you need to continue.
And was your only beta tester for a long time.
We have a daily clash. And
you know what? I need to contribute to those to you, and I need to start sending you one every other day.
Yes, you do, and you need to participate.
To make it fair and balanced, because it's now Lefty Allen unbalanced.
Listen. Clashing Heads would not be Clashing Heads without Righty Jim and Moderate Mike too on occasion, but we seem to come together, coalesce into this great ecosystem of whatever we are, and Righty Jim. You're bringing up about the election. I was going to bring up that
it's midterms, it's primaries, it's New York.
Except for yesterday, maybe, but it hasn't been a good week for the president. We can go back
to do with
that.
Trump.
Oh, everything. Trump is the center.
Trump lives rent free in your mind. I understand that.
He's the center of the.
You're actually missing. You are, because of your TDS. You are missing actually. What was the overriding issue in many of the New York primaries for Congress in the Democrat side? You're missing the key point there.
Well, I think I know what the issues are.
What was the issue? What was the key issue?
Without going to your research, I could just tell you. You're talking about the Mamdani effect, right?
It's easy for you to say, or not.
Well, not. I suppose we're all going to have to learn it. So, because this guy seems to have more influence.
Would you say that he is the current leader of the Democratic Party?
I would not say that, but
who would you say is the leader of the Democratic Party, by the way?
I don't think the Democratic Party has a leader.
That's an interesting answer.
And
one that I don't necessarily agree with you with. But who is the spiritual leader right now?
Well, I was hoping the spiritual leader would be our governor, but I don't.
Wow, you really hate America.
No, but I think the
he's too. Speaking of orange men, he may have that problem soon, but that's a different topic.
Oh, Righty Jim, you threw one right back at me.
Yes. No. Okay. So I'm going to throw a couple of names out at you and tell me why they're not the spiritual leader. AOC.
Why she's not the spiritual leader?
Or why do you not think she's the spiritual leader of the party?
Well, first of all, I don't think anyone who is her side of liberalism, the leader of the party,
being progressive.
No, I think she falls in the category of too woke for centrist Democrats and liberals.
Well, guess what? You better wake up, because your party's moved left in the last couple of years.
It absolutely has.
It is progressive. But as I say in my very famous Righty Jim Twitter feed, progressive is not progress.
Well, here is the Lefty Al theory behind all this, and it goes back to
try to make it in 4 paragraphs or less.
Well, the pendulum swings.
You're not getting paid by the word tonight.
And Newton's third law of physics.
Oh,
what's that, Righty Jim? What's the third law of physics for
AOC? Used to be a bartender.
No, the third law of physics.
Equal and opposite motion. Equal and opposite reaction.
Right, and so the equal and opposite reaction to Trump, who is so off the charts, right wing, fascist.
Not true for a former Democrat.
Yes, it's true.
Trust me. As a conservative, he is not conservative enough for me. So he's not a right winger.
I don't know if that's the case.
Lefty, whatever. Maybe you weren't. Maybe we weren't doing Clashing Heads. Maybe I was doing the show without you. Back in our old radio days. No, but I said a very, very poignant thing that is still true to this day. When I don't remember when Trump got the nomination or he won the presidency, that Trump is not a Republican. He's not a Democrat. He's a Trumpian. He'll do something that the Democrats will hate one day, and he'll do something the Democrats won't hate the next day. He'll do something
curious
that will drive me crazy as a Republican.
There's nothing he's done in V2. Maybe a few things that he's done in V2.
This has been 10 years since I made this statement.
There were
maybe he has evolved some. Maybe that is possible.
Well, let me ask you, Righty Jim, because you seem to be a total Trump sycophant. I've accused you
Not
of being a
true.
toady.
If you actually listen and read my material, you would not find that.
Well,
Listen to my appearances on Chad Benson Show, Midterm Mondays on Monday, and Weekly Wrap Up on Fridays.
Let's just ask you about this week. Where would you have voted?
Hang on.
How would you have?
We'll get to that. Let's get back to the New York elections.
Okay, let's not forget about. Put a pin in this one. Let's talk about Mom Donnie.
Ouch! That pin pricked me. Damn, I'm bleeding.
It's better than. No, let's not go there.
So let's start with. Okay, so let's start with some of the races here. New York. Now this is not a Mondami one, but this is an interesting one. New York 12th, because there's two political neophytes that had huge name recognition on this one.
New York 12. I'm going to Midterm Monday, folks, which is this is a plug for Righty Jim, but it's a plug for Clashing Heads.
It's a plug for Midterm Mondays.
Because Clashing Heads is a proud sponsor of Midterm Monday. And
by the way, your check didn't clear last month. We have to have a chat about that.
We have to have a chat about my check. Well, ask me for a Zelle payment, Righty Jim, and that should. You can ask
Bitcoin
all you want.
Yeah, thank you.
Righty Jim.
You're not going to find it because it's actually not a. Remember what we have on Midterm Monday for the House races.
States.
They are we do not have the solid. New York 12 is a very solid blue seat, so it is not it's not a battleground seat that we have. Now, we do have a couple of New York races that are battlegrounds.
Well, you have New York 17, 19, 3, 4.
And we have CA 6, the Richard Kiley or the Kevin Kiley seat. CA 45. Yeah, okay, you know who you know where that Freudian slip was. CA 48 and CA 22, I believe. But we do not have the we do not have CA 12, unfortunately. We are adding a feature eventually, which actually used to work, but one of my updates broke it, unfortunately, where you can add your own districts and track your own because you may want to see what's going on with the races.
Good call.
In the areas that you live in that may not necessarily be battlegrounds.
Good call, Righty Jim.
Thank you very much. But New York 12 had two newcomers to politics with large name recognition. We had Jack Schlossberg, Lefty Al, who is Jack Schlossberg.
Well, he's a Kennedy.
Yes.
And he's married
Which
to
Kennedy?
Caroline.
No.
Not Caroline.
No, not married. It's Caroline's son.
I mean, Caroline's son. What am I saying?
I don't know. What are you saying?
No. It's Caroline's son.
Yes, Caroline's son.
She's
who has no political experience. Yes, and there was what's the Sunday Morning on CBS did a thing on him a long time ago, maybe back in March.
Well, he only got 12% of the vote.
Correct. And then, but the glorious one that actually made President Trump's day was George Conway.
George Conway.
He finished.
Who was married to
Kellyanne Conway.
And
there's a great story that Ann Coulter tells.
Political, in D.C. How about Carville and Mary Matlin? And
that's the I don't.
You can't figure these things out. How these what about Gavin and his first wife, right? And not his first.
Yes.
Right?
No, his first wife. Correct.
Was his first wife?
Yes.
Tell the audience who that.
Former Fox News host Kathleen Guilfoyle.
Right. And so she ended up with.
She wasn't a Fox News host. She was actually a DA.
She ended up dating Donnie Jr., right?
Yes, and turned out to be maybe not the most marriageable material, so they made her ambassador to Greece to get her far away.
I mean, this is so. What?
But let's get back to George Conway. George Conway. There's a very interesting chart that somebody
was looking for.
He finished fifth in that race.
What?
He finished fifth in the race, Conway. And President Trump lit him up on Truth Social today. It was wonderful. Conway is just not exactly a good person. I'm sorry. I know he was a Republican.
Well,
but there's a very interesting hand.
Conway's a brilliant man.
He's not. He is. Maybe he was before the TDS got to him. But there was a very interesting chart.
If you disagree with Trump, you have TDS. Okay.
No, not exactly.
You guys are so full of psychological projection.
You can editorialize
everything
later.
You say about fake news is
Lefty, I'll pipe down. Lefty, I'll calm down. Okay. There's a very interesting point I want to make about this race. where because everyone talks about engagement and you basically want eyeballs and people, you want name recognition, especially in races like this. Okay, well, Conway had name recognition, didn't do him any good. Jack Schlossberg had tremendous name recognition, didn't do him any good. Somebody put up a list of the top 5 because after Conway it gets like 1%. Conway at least pulled I think 6%. And there was an inverse proportional relationship between the number of Twitter followers and the position you finished. George Conway had the most Twitter followers and finished 5th. Jack Schlossberg had the 3rd most Twitter followers and finished 3rd. And the guy that won it had the least number of Twitter followers.
Yeah,
so
but he had
very interesting
for
those
Mamdani's support.
Well, yes, but still, he did not have, he was not engaging with people, obviously through social media, to get the name recognition and to get his name out there for
that's New York 12, right?
That's New York 12. Yeah, you want to talk about New York 10? Dan
New
Goldberg?
York 10 is keeping me up at nights. I am that I have to tell you. There's
no reason he kept up now because you know how it came out.
I shudder. Righty Jim gets to have some victory laps here because he loves. This is the Schadenfreude effect, right? However, it's
both Conway and this one, yes.
Because this is if people know what that word means in German, it's taking pleasure out of other people's pain. And Righty Jim is taking pleasure
it's more like
out
a karma thing rather than that.
No, it's taking pleasure out of like Lefty Al's pain right now. Dan Goldman is a brilliant, composed, Democrat. You don't like him, Righty Jim?
Apparatchik.
Do you like the idea that he lost on an issue that you actually support?
Oh yes, this race is very interesting for many reasons, multiple reasons I should say. So Brad Lander won the race, but do you know what the final tally was in this one?
Oh, I'm afraid to know.
64-36.
To Goldman?
Yes.
Are you kidding?
No. How many times? Okay, take out scandals. He's not Eric Swalwell. He didn't steal money from little babies and kick old women off out of their wheelchairs.
He was a prosecutor.
He has no scandals. He's a Democratic apparatchik, but he has no scandals.
But he was a legitimate U.S. attorney.
Well, right? He was running for re-election. He'd already been in this seat.
But before he ran, he
was the majority counsel in the Trump impeachment hearings.
He was majority counsel, but wasn't he a U.S. attorney?
I don't know if he was before that, but he was. Okay. He was a party lackey, and he got the seat as a reward for helping them get Trump impeached. Well, they didn't get him removed because he didn't control the Senate. But the interesting thing is 64-36. When does a sitting congressman that has no scandal, no issues, nothing that is basically made him stand out? I mean, and I don't mean not standing out politically, and a guy that has a good standing in the party, as far as I know,
a great standing. He was endorsed by Hochul. He was endorsed by Jeffries. So,
but he lost by almost 30 points. When does that ever happen?
You can't do any better than the endorsements he had.
Well, he didn't have one endorsement that mattered. Whose was that?
Yeah, Mamdani.
And why didn't he have Mamdani's endorsement?
Because Dan Goldman was considered too extreme.
No, actually, there's a little more personal reason for it.
Support for Israel.
No, you are correct, but that's not the point. That's not one of you are correct. That is one of the points. But he never supported Mamdani for mayor. And Mamdani remembered that, and then he supported Brad Lardner when he ran against
politics
Goldman.
Politics is truly ugly, isn't it? And
this race again is interesting on many levels.
You give your analysis, I'll give mine.
Well, no, that was the point I wanted to bring up. But also, yes, you do bring up the larger point, which is an overlier of all of these, of 4 of these races: New York 7, New York 10, New York 13. And I don't remember the 4th one. If you go to rightyjim.com, I wrote an article on this yesterday on the various
forgetting your
Civil War.
Article.
No, I did. New York 10, 7, 13, and 15 were
Okay.
all races where the key factor was support for Israel by the incumbent versus anti-Israel, anti-Semitic sentiment by the challengers. And all of the challengers supported my Mandami won. Now, to be fair, one of these is a race where the sitting person, Nadine Velasquez, retired. So she was in there for 32 years. Thank goodness. Time for her to leave.
But we're talking also about the
but the woman who won, Claire Valdez, was a DSA supported Mandami candidate.
The head of on the Hispanic
Hispanic caucus, Richie Torres.
Yeah, he lost.
Yes.
And Goldman, who is an outstanding congressman. I mean, he's somebody a Democrat like me could say, God, he's somebody who could run for president, because
Michael Avenatti.
I admire the guy. Okay. But I don't know
doesn't say much for your value system, Lefty Al.
I don't know how you run for president as a Democrat and
Lefty Al, breaking news. We have a correction here. Richie Torres did win his seat.
Oh, he did?
But he was challenged by another Mandami person, Michael Blake.
Oh, he won?
He actually won pretty easily.
Oh, interesting. I thought he lost.
No, he won.
The way the way it was reported was all these incumbents were losing who were not supported by Mandani.
Yes.
But what concerns me is this how America has been so dumbed down on both sides of the aisle and both political parties.
It's an interesting take and one that I don't agree with. My point
you don't agree with because you are a lackey for the president.
Again, if you read my stuff at RightyJim.com and listen to my daily brief and my appearances on Chad Benson, you will find that I do not actually. I have spoken out against some of the issues.
We'll get into that in a moment.
Well, that's not one of our topics for tonight.
My analysis.
But again, the thing was, this was a battle of those that support Israel and those that don't support Israel.
Well, it's not support Israel because Lardner, I believe,
is true. It was more of an anti-Semitism sentiment. Basically,
there's
a
lot of anti-Semitism going on, but the dumbing down in the Democratic Party is how.
Well, your party elected AOC, so I mean, I guess that is a good example.
The dumbing down, I wouldn't call that.
I would.
Voted for her because of a desire to have some more socialism, not communism, more socialism.
Yeah.
But that said,
what could go wrong with more socialism because it works so well everywhere else?
Socialism does work well. Do you ever go to a public library, Righty Jim? That's socialism.
North Korea. Socialism.
Did you ever go on did you ever drive your car in a public street? That's socialism.
Oh, okay. Lefty, I know you try really hard at this, but you just fail miserably.
It is. It's socialism is when government is needed because private enterprise cannot make a profit at what the government is needed.
That's not socialism.
Okay, that is socialism. It's by that analysis. Production.
By that analysis, the U.S. Navy is socialism.
Well, maybe it is. Okay.
No, it's not.
Yeah. The military is a good example.
But I saved the best for last.
Socialism.
New York 13.
What's that? Because I wanted to get back to Dan Goldman, who.
Finish up with Dan Goldman. Sorry, go ahead.
This man, he's got all the creds to actually run for president, and so don't put him down.
Yeah, he's not gonna
just because Mandani doesn't support him. I think that's actually a mark in his favor.
Well,
and I will tell you,
not in New York City. It's not.
New York City is going to learn a hard lesson. Although Mandani is right now the kingmaker, just like Trump was the kingmaker for the Republicans.
There are reports that they tweet back and forth like on a weekly basis.
Oh yeah, they're buds and they deserve each other. So that's how I feel. Okay, so would you say that, Righty Jim? But I say it, and I mean it. And that's the difference between us, because you won't stand up to Trump where I will stand up to Mandani. Okay. And so that's a big difference.
That's really brave of you, being 2,700 miles away, standing up to Mandani.
Well, I am. I look, I think Mandani.
I want to start a poly market on the probability that Mandami knows who Lefty Al actually
yeah, well,
is.
let me tell you, the quote Palestinian apologists who have spoken up, who have done nothing but speak highly of everything Hamas has done. They've ignored what happened on October 7th. Anyone who's out there should look up Loe Al-Sharif. Go on Facebook or in social media. He's from the UAE, and he is an Arab who's from the United Arab Emirates, and he exposes the hypocrisy of coming mainly from the left, which is where I'm from, but mainly from the left. But when I see hypocrisy coming from the left, that they didn't stand up for women and children who were raped and brutalized,
According to them,
killed,
didn't happen.
lit on fire on October 7th, there would not have been this quote problem in Gaza had it not been for that the Hamas apologists used, like Mamdani, who isn't a Hamas, who's, if he doesn't say he is, this quote Palestinian thing. Who spoke up for the Jews on October 7th, right?
Trump.
I want to know. I want to know if Mamdani spoke up, because those signs and protest signs about Gaza, they were all ready to go out like the day after October 7th.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
How and why is that?
Well, because all these people are funded by global organizations that
they were
are trying
funded.
to create
It was all
troubles in
planned.
America.
It was an anti-truth propaganda that unfortunately a lot of young people in this generation have fallen for, and effectively. And the Mamdani propaganda machine has won. At least they've won this battle.
And how do they get indoctrinated into this, Lefty Al?
They've gotten indoctrinated because it's the cool thing to do, just like.
But where are they getting this information from?
Look, Righty Jim, people who are, I used to be younger and in college, and you always want to think that your generation is going to make a mark on society and is right. But so many people from older generations supported the likes of Che Guevara. They'd have his poster in their college.
Yes, and they're the ones that are marching for against ICE today.
They are not all true. Not
almost all true. Yes,
but liberals need to own up to their mistakes, and their mistake. I agree about Netanyahu. I think he's going to be voted out. But the difference is that Israel is a democratic republic and has the opportunity to vote out this guy. You know, who votes out Hamas? That's what I want to know.
Certainly not the Palestinians.
Yeah.
It took Trump to take care of that problem.
But, you know, I feel bad for people who lose their children in war. But let's call it for what it is. It's called a war. So let's move on to the next subject at hand.
Well, hang on. No, we still need to do New York 13. And by the way, are you familiar with the Goldman incident last weekend in the coffee shop?
Yes, I am, and it's tragic. Why don't you inform our listeners?
You seem to be a little bit. All I know is that he went into a coffee shop, and they said that if they'd known who he was, they would have not allowed him to buy coffee.
Well, what
gave
they
him his money back and told him he's not welcome here.
Right.
And it turns out that person has numerous social media posts describing the various things that you talked about earlier about supporting the Intifada, liking River to the Sea, the questioning the legitimacy of the Israeli state, all of the things that you've kind of already mentioned previously.
And to every listener out there who says, you know what, I don't like Israel, but I like Jews. I'm sorry. Okay. Israel has been the only place for Jews, and let's not forget that. The anti-Semitism is running rampant in this country. This country should be ashamed of itself for the anti-Semitism that is allowed to fester. Okay, and I think Righty Jim would agree with this too.
Sure, and you know what? Maybe you guys should vote in Graham Plattner. Maybe that'll help. No, that probably won't.
Well, no, don't go there.
I'm going there because I should, and I need to.
Righty Jim and I have a disagreement. We agree to disagree, and I think Mr. Plattner's, he's got a tattoo that reminds people of the SS skull, and you know what? I will vote for Graham Plattner because I believe that he didn't know what he was getting tattooed. Like a lot of people.
Oh, so basically he's not complicit. So you have to vote for the guy that's not complicit, but stupid.
No, I think he should have it removed. but and
What does
maybe
that
he should
do?
endure the pain of removing his tattoo, but I
Okay.
I would
One more of
certainly
these New
vote for
York
him over
ones, because
Susan
this one's the real
Collins.
doozy. You
What?
thought that because Lander compared to this one is just, he's a freaking Boy Scout compared to what we got in New York 13. Darliza Avilia Xavier.
Oh, you're good. Righty, Jim, have you been taking language lessons? Have you
No, but
been
I've been going to Taco Bell a lot, and that's how I learn.
Righty, Jim? Come now.
To
Taco
be fair, I don't know that
Bell.
Chevalier is Spanish. It sounds more French. She's from Dominican Republic, right?
Dominican Republic. Well,
Which,
no,
do they
hold on.
speak French
Dominican
and Spanish?
Republic speaks Spanish. Haiti speaks French on that same island.
Right. So maybe okay. Well, I'm sure there's probably people that have interblended between the two. I'm
Eh,
not sure. They probably don't have any better border than we used to have between Texas and Mexico. But not really the point. She beat the incumbent by 5 points. But she's a real winner. She wants to abolish ICE. She said that
Okay,
all deportations are wrong. She
not
wants
okay.
the what is the BDS, the divest Israel strategy,
Not
and that
right. Not
and
good.
and that she says that hang on, where is my little thing here? She has liked tweets to the effect of Israel does not exist.
Oh, what's going to happen to Democrats? They're going to suffer by their own stupidity.
Yeah, but the problem is this is a deeply blue seat. We don't track it on Winter Monday because it's so blue. There's not even worth tracking
Well,
it. She's
she
going
will
to win.
probably win, and
She's going to
what's
win
going to
hands down.
happen is
There'll be another squad member.
the idiots, yeah, in the squad are gaining power.
Yes.
It is a problem, and I certainly hope that whoever does run for president is going to, you know, have enough
Chris Murphy.
support from people who actually have sense about the Israel issue. And I want to bring this up again. Israel is a democratic republic. You don't have to hate Israel if you dislike Netanyahu. They're not the same thing. It's the government and not the state, okay? The state of Israel is a viable country that is the powerhouse in the Middle East.
I believe there are a lot of Jewish people there, if I'm not mistaken.
Not just Jewish people, but entrepreneurs and leading medical
It's a very successful. It's a very successful tech country.
Tech
Lots
and
of
medicine,
tech innovation,
and
medical
people
devices.
don't even know half the goods and services coming out of Israel that you're using right now, and you like.
Yep.
Israel is an innovative. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, folks. I mean, if you don't like Netanyahu, that's the beauty of Israel. They will probably vote him out.
And
where else do you get that in the Middle East?
Yep. Soon to come too. Trump links at Gaza. That's going to be a good golf course.
Please, let's talk about your favorite president.
No. Let's finish up on Ms. Chevalier. What's your thoughts on Ms. Chevalier?
God. Righty Jim. I
know you don't want to talk about this.
Clashing Head show go. I guess Righty Jim, by the way,
and walk along, move along.
Righty Jim is
we have to talk about your favorite governor.
We have Righty Jim as our resident tech genius of Clashing Heads, and Righty Jim is behind this amazing our episodes that we have that are clear to the ear of Clashing Heads listeners, but we can go on and on and on and on like we do when we're not on the podcast. You should hear us.
You want to talk about your favorite governor?
Well, that is the next clash, but then I do want to go about your favorite president.
We've already talked about Trump.
No, we haven't talked. We haven't given enough to him. But we haven't talked about Iran. What a mess and disaster. We haven't talked about Bill Cassidy and the cage match that Trump should have with himself and Bill Cassidy.
Bill Cassidy was
on the White House lawn, because that was a show for sore eyes. And this is called the
Which
Revenge.
happened like 2 weeks ago.
No, it happened today. You missed
the UFC match. Was 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago.
Righty Jim, I'm talking about what Bill Cassidy and Trump had words in a private lunch today. Did you miss that?
A lot of the Republicans had words.
No, this was major words. Trump is PO'd by Cassidy's vote. How else should Cassidy have voted? How would you have voted, Righty Jim, before we go on to Gavin Newsom? Would you have voted to question Trump about the Iran war? Would you have voted for to impose the War Powers Act, like what
Well, I
ended up
thought Trump was
happening?
upset about the. I guess it was the war powers. I thought he was upset about the Save Act not moving
No,
forward.
what happened
Okay.
was, and so this is news. So Trump was calling a press
3
conference
paragraphs, Lefty
today.
Al, 3 paragraphs.
The original press conference was about the housing. This was like the best thing out of this Congress. Congress should be proud of itself. It's taking its cues, whatever, from Clashing Heads, because here you have Lefty Al, Righty Jim, and occasionally Moderate Mike, wherever you are, Moderate Mike, coming together, and every so often we agree, like on the Dodgers, okay? But what we have in Congress, which is so rare, is an overwhelming bipartisan support for the housing bill. Righty
Yes.
Jim, what was in the housing bill that made it good for both sides?
Well, I mean, it's the kind of thing that's especially so you get bills like this in midterm years because it allows Congress to go home and say, "Look, I passed the housing bill, so you've got to reelect me because I'm looking out for all of you good old average Americans,
Right.
all you hot dog eating, lifted truck driving Americans." Yes, I do sound kind of hokey when they do that. There was an intent to that. But yeah, so that's why you get bills like this. But it was supposed to add some money for affordability.
Hold
I think
on.
it was
Let me give the bullet points of the facts of this bill.
Your 3 paragraphs are up, Lefty.
No, I didn't do 3. This is paragraph 2.
You did 12 paragraphs. I counted.
The legislation attempts to increase housing supply by encouraging modernization of local zoning restrictions, reduces barriers to housing
How does
construction.
a federal law change local
This is a Republican measure because things are tied to HUD and loans are tied to HUD. The bill streamlines permitting and approval processes, expands incentives for affordable housing. That sounds like a Democratic part of it. Includes provisions intended to help first-time home buyers.
I think I said that stuff.
And it's one of the most significant bipartisan efforts ever. And so this was something Trump was never really on board with it, but he didn't oppose it. Today he was going to have a signing ceremony, and then he decides to blow it all up. Now, what Righty Jim was saying is correct.
Now, here's the point, or here's the
you
question.
You want to stop me while I'm saying you were correct? I mean,
it is a rare thing. Continue on.
Well, okay. Well, Righty Jim's correct because both parties saw this as a way they could go back to their districts in this midterm election and say, look what I'm delivering for you. And I'm delivering bipartisanship. But Righty Jim, and you can take it from here, Trump blew it up. Why is that?
Now, here's the question. Did he blow it up just for the signing ceremony today? Or has he said he's not going to sign it ever?
I think he said he's not signing it unless...
My understanding was he simply wasn't signing it today, and he was
not
still
signing it because unless the Save Act,
right? That's what I said earlier. I thought this was about the Save Act.
But the two are not related. But he's trying to make them. He's trying to find a way to get it pushed through. The Save Act, which would require voter ID, Democrats don't support that at the polls.
Of course not.
You should no.
You won't be able to win as many elections in California.
I'm for voter ID at the time of registration, but not at the polls. Once you've registered to vote, you should just sign your name, and there you are under penalty of perjury. If you break the law,
oh no, I'm an illegal alien. I voted illegally. I'm going to be perjured.
Oh yeah, like there. You know what? We've talked about this. Maybe you can count on one hand how many illegal aliens.
If it's not a problem, then why do you care?
It is a problem to
okay, Lefty out.
Wait.
No.
I'm just going back to what you were saying.
We're not here to debate the Save Act.
You asked a question, right?
We're not here to debate the Save Act.
You asked a question of Trump.
I'll withdraw the question. Never mind.
He's doing it because
I withdrew the question.
Save Act.
Never mind.
The Save Act.
I have a question about the Save Act, and this is a question you'll actually appreciate.
Okay.
My understanding is in the Constitution, states get to set the rules for how they run their elections. How is this enforceable?
How is what enforceable?
The
The
SAVE Act, if
save?
it passes, enforceable.
Well, it's enforceable because states don't regulate federal elections.
Yes, they do.
No, they administer federal elections, but I think the Supreme Court has said, for instance, I recall that if you're in some states, if you're not registered to vote, um, you can still cast a provisional ballot, which means you have to be checked after the election to
But that's
see
a
if your
state
ballot.
law, not a
No,
federal
wait,
law.
hold on. If you can't be prohibited to vote for president because that's a federal regulation.
We don't have federal, but we don't have a
Just like Righty
national.
Jim,
We don't have
just like the
national elections.
states can't get involved and require. They tried to do this, and it was thrown out by the Supreme Court, I believe. The states cannot say to someone running for Congress, "Oh, you're being termed out," like they can say to any of their local
Well,
offices.
California tried to make Trump show his taxes or he wouldn't be allowed on the ballot, and they lost that one along with 47 other things.
Right.
Where
There's certain
California
things the
sued for
states can
stupid
do
things.
and say. The state
But
might
they're
be able
creating an
to.
eligibility rule, not
You
a election rule.
no, but an election rule, the state could say,
Okay,
"I'm
so you're saying the
sorry."
states are allowed, so that basically you're saying the SAVE Act is legal and enforceable and
SAVE Act
constitutional.
would be enforceable. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, I didn't think it was. That was my take on
I
it.
I
I will
think
need to talk to
so
my I will need to talk to my
you're
constitutional law
your
expert on that one.
constitutional expert. Let's see if they agree with Lefty L. So now, but what Trump has done, he has blown it not just for the himself, but for Republicans running for office. Because here's the thing, Righty Jim. Donald Trump, I do not think will veto this. There's no question that
Veto
there's
what?
enough votes in both houses
Oh,
of
the housing
Congress.
bill.
Yeah, to override his veto. There's no question they will override his
I think
veto.
he'll sign it once he
No, he doesn't have to sign it. He can let it go 10 days and it automatically
the 10 or 30.
it's 10
10 for
days.
federal. Okay, I think it's 30 in California. That's
Yeah.
why I asked.
But if Trump doesn't sign in 10 days, it automatically becomes law. The only way it doesn't become law is if Congress adjourns, and then it's called a pocket veto.
That
But
I'm aware of.
but
That I'm
but
aware of.
but but it will become law with or without Trump, and it will become law if Trump vetoes it because it's something that's needed. It shows bipartisanship, but Trump doesn't care about bipartisanship. He'll throw everyone under the bus except himself. Everything's great. The Iran war is great. We're winning the war. Yeah, we're losing that war. It's why he wants out of it so badly. So we've got Trump distracting everyone with the algae because he can't face the music
actually,
about
the
Iran.
left's distracting everyone with the algae.
And what's going on?
Okay, can I give you my 2 cents on Iran, and then we can move along?
Yeah.
Because we've been at this for some. We need to wrap this up.
Yes, go ahead.
So I basically, I'm not a fan of what he's done with the Iran thing. I've been in it from the beginning to basically regime change in Iran. I want the current people out. I want freedom for the Iranians. I want a democratic system set up in Iran because I believe the people can handle it. They have a viable economy that is, yes, mostly based on natural resources, but this isn't like Iraq where there basically was no economy
So, Righty
in the country. So
wait, tell me. Let me get back to planet Earth here with you.
do you know your way? Because you really don't
I recall
occupy this
you
place
and
very often.
Moderate Mike were so enthusiastic about this war with Iran, and I said, hold
I'm
your horses.
enthusiastic about creating change in Iran for the Iranian
right,
people.
but you were supporting what Trump was doing, bombing them and all
Yes,
of this.
absolutely.
As it turns out, we're not going to be any better than we were under the Obama deal that Trump tore up.
Well, actually, we'll be worse because we've blown a lot of, or we've burned through a lot of
that
munitions.
They are so. Listen, Trump underestimated these guys. He thought that this would be a
Well, he was
cakewalk like
advised by multiple
Venezuela.
people not to do this.
Exactly.
That's why Tulsi Gabbard left, because she
Right.
finally last straw.
But why did you
JD Vance said
support him?
not to do it. Marcos said not to
Why
do
were
it.
you so blind yourself? Because
he wants to have the legacy of being the guy that brought change to Iran after 50
right.
years.
But you know what? If you go to war, go to Congress first, okay?
Well,
Get
no,
them to support you. Look,
you got
as
60
much,
days. Just
Righty
relax
Jim, I
about that.
brought this up before. As much as
And it wasn't a valid point anymore. Never. Sorry. Go ahead.
yes, it was, because it had to do with George W. Bush. It had to do with his father, um, George H.W. Bush, and George
President George
H.W.
H.W. Bush.
Bush, right. But both Bush presidents did something that this president is blind to. They went to Congress for both of their wars in Kuwait for George H.W. Bush and with Iraq with George W. Bush. And Congress supported both of these presidents. Now, I didn't agree with Dick Cheney and George W. Bush because I
Yeah, we
didn't
don't need to
believe in the yellow
relitigate.
cake
We don't need to
theory.
relitigate the Gulf War.
No, but the precedent
Make a
is
point.
that Democrats will support a Republican who seeks a war resolution if it's a legitimate reason and can be supported, and especially if you bring allies on board. Trump only cares about himself.
Okay. By the way, did we ever cover Gavin?
No, we should cover Gavin.
Good. Then we should stop talking about
We
Trump.
didn't but for the audience sake, why I was saying it was a bad week for Trump. Bill
Fine,
Cassidy,
next.
who wait, he has his own retribution because he lost. Remember, he was a
Yes.
senator in Louisiana.
Yes.
Trump went against him, and Cassidy said,
Trump would
"You
say
know what?
Cassidy went against him, but
This Cassidy went against Trump, and Cassidy, who is responsible, and I think he feels guilty about it, for having RFK as the head of HHS because he was the deciding vote. And he's a doctor, and he should have known better than to give RFK.
Is there a point, Lefty Al?
Yes. The point is
paragraph.
that Cassidy just wanted to know from Trump some serious questions about Iran. Okay, and Righty Jim, when Bill Cassidy's asking about that, and he said, what did you follow this story?
I have a job, Lefty Al.
Okay, so Cassidy questioned Trump whether Congress received adequate briefings.
Fine.
Trump blows up about these questions. You tell me if these are TDS
You're getting into
questions.
political minutia, Lefty
Tell me
Al.
if this is TDS.
I'm not.
Cassidy questions.
Let's talk about Gavin.
No,
Newsom.
you answer
You've
these questions too, and then we'll talk about Gavin. We got time, Righty Jim.
No, we really don't, Lefty Al. We're already at an hour.
Cassidy questioned America's objectives in the conflict. What are they? What were they?
I gave them to you previously.
Yeah, we didn't achieve one with this latest deal with Iran. Cassidy questioned whether Iran's nuclear ambitions were reduced. Trump doesn't want to answer that because they were not reduced.
I think that was a hard one, but probably not.
What concessions Iran received, they're getting, not maybe direct from us, but maybe so, $300 billion. That's slightly more than Obama gave Iran, which was their own money to begin with. And then
this is going to be their own money back.
Cassidy questioned what America gained in return. What have we gained? Opening up the Strait of Hormuz, which was open before Trump got involved. And guess what, folks? We didn't have embargoes. We didn't have tolls before Trump declared his war against Iran that now he's so desperate to get out of. And then Cassidy supported limited additional military action without congressional authorization.
So let's talk about Gavin.
But you're running away from it. You know Trump has lost this one, and the Republicans are going to lose big because of this war.
No, this will be forgotten.
And because most Republicans have been spineless. We only have 4 in the House and 4 in the Senate. That was enough to join with the Democrats in bipartisan efforts to defeat Donald Trump on the war America does not support. It was never explained to America. Donald Trump's not getting his way on that. He's not getting his way on this housing.
The Iranian government and the IRGC thanks you for your support.
It's not my support of them.
Let's move on to Gavin now that we've covered that
on the record.
Ad nauseum.
I hate the government of Iran.
Yeah, you support.
We just need leaders who actually know how to execute on a war and war strategy, and with an enemy like that probably already has a new.
Okay, so now back to Gavin Newsom that you've been trying to avoid all night.
I still like the idea of a cage match with Trump and Cassidy.
You would.
But I'm having a hard time on the theme because
it's not relevant to go forward with.
Well,
Gavin
we'll close our show with that. Okay, you
No,
talk
we
about
won't.
Gavin, Righty Jim. That was your topic to
Oh, great!
begin
Out of the
with.
12 topics, I got one. Wonderful. Well, nice.
No, I will give you any one you
Lefty,
want.
by the way, when I ran the analysis last week on the show report on
Yes.
who talked how much, how did that break down?
Well, Righty Jim, it's how did it break down?
Yes.
Well, your analysis was different from my analysis.
Okay. Well, my analysis is run by AI computer, so it's not
my analysis is who gets interrupted more often, me or you.
That's not the point.
That is the point.
The point is you get interrupted because you bloviate.
Oh, I bloviate.
You bloviate.
This is good.
63% of the time, Lefty Al was talking. 37% of the time, Righty Jim was talking.
Well, wait a minute. 63% to 37%?
Yes.
Alrighty, Jim.
Lefty Al.
Well, that's because I have twice as much to say than you.
No, you bloviate.
No, twice as much.
Bloviate. So
I explain.
So, again, this is why you get 12 topics and I get one, and we're going to need to rectify it. Because I know deep down you want equality in this show.
We do want quality.
Equality.
We do. Oh, equality. Well, that Righty Jim, you are correct. That as a lefty Al, I do believe in equality.
You don't want to be like Alicia Baez, the chick that got busted and fired by J.P. Morgan for stealing the Knicks trash can and dumping all the trash out.
What was that? That's not good.
Oh, go Google that one. That's a lovely one.
I never heard that one.
Well, okay. Of course not. Your left-wing media wouldn't tell you that.
Righty Jim. Okay, let's talk about Gavin.
Yeah, then we'll wrap this up because we're way over the time.
Okay.
Gavin. Okay, so this is 2 weeks old because Lefty Al didn't want to cover it last week. Gavin Newsom and his wife, the first partner, and I'm not calling her that because I'm trying to be pejorative. She calls herself the first partner. She's not the first lady of California. She is the first partner. I'm putting that in air quotes because I believe she does too. Jennifer Newsom Siebel, or Jennifer Siebel Newsom, depending upon which name goes last, are being investigated over their tax returns because of possible funny business with the with the money that they have been making and how they've been reporting their taxes. Right. Now, Gavin also came up under the scrutiny of the California Political Fair Election Committee, or whatever it is, where
FPPC.
He's required. Huh?
The FPPC.
Very good. I did not know what that was. Very good. Thank you for educating the listeners. He has been fined $31,500 for not reporting payments on a timely basis. Now, the payments that he did not report are called behested payments. Lefty Al, what are behested payments?
Behested payments
in California.
What is having to do with disclosures?
No. The payments that he got in trouble for not filing timely reports on were behested payments.
Saying, is this having to do with his loans?
Okay, you don't know what behested payments are.
Well, go ahead, explain.
Okay, behested payments. California has a unique little thing where a state official, or I don't know if it's local or not, can basically request a donation from a contributor. So he can go out and say, "Hey, PG&E, I'd like you to contribute $50,000 to Jennifer's nonprofit, his wife's nonprofit." That is completely legal in California as long as you file the paperwork.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Well, okay.
No other state you can have behested payments. You can't demand somebody give you a contribution or have somebody give a contribution to an entity that you'd wish to get the contribution.
I see. That's what it means. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
They are payments behested by somebody for somebody else or for
I
yourself.
See. Okay.
So, but this is, I mean, do you not have a problem, or do you not see that this could lead to political corruption on a massive scale?
I don't like it, but it's legal, and
should it be?
No.
Wow, very good.
And
you're correct for once.
And I would say it should be made illegal, and Governor Newsom should sign it into law.
Oh, because the California legislature is going to pass that law.
Well, I will tell you that transparency.
These are people that have in the past week have created bills that will basically make reparations tax-free which they haven't discussed yet because they're planning ahead on this one.
Well, okay,
They've
that's
also
another story.
they also have laws. They have also worked on laws that will charge you $66 an hour plus a fee of $22 an hour for public records disclosures. They've also got an act where if any negative, let me
has that
finish.
passed? Did the PRA pass?
The PRA, is that what it's
Public
called?
Records Act.
Well, it's not. No, there already is a Public Records Act.
No,
this is to amend
what
it.
you're saying, the change to the Public Records Act that
It is. I believe it's gone through one of the two chambers, and it's maybe sitting in the other. I don't think it's gone to Gavin's desk yet. They've also gone through, and I believe, as far as I know, passed legislation
that's ridiculous.
that prevents people from reporting on fraud that is conducted by NGOs that provide, quote, immigrant services. So anything that's deemed to be immigrant services, if you go up there and do the Nick Shirley type of investigation, where you go look for fraud and you find no kids in the daycare center, or you go to the Leering Center and find no kids in there, you are not allowed to publish that information in California. They've also worked on a bill, which is probably going to pass, where they're going to suppress all non-positive information on the California High-Speed Rail Act. So, in a state that is not very transparent and has behested payments, do you really think they're going to change the behested payments laws?
Look,
these are not people that are working for the benefit of the public. They're working for their own benefit.
Well, look, I believe in having a good, vibrant two-party system. It's not that I am endorsing.
And we don't have that in California, thanks to the current.
I'm looking forward
administration.
to look. I'm looking forward to seeing the election between
which has nothing to do with the questions I asked you.
And Steve Hilton.
Great. Why don't you stay on topic and talk about?
Well, this goes to that topic.
No, it doesn't, because
it's.
But you're missing the larger point,
fresh
Lefty.
blood to change some of this. We should be a state that has and promotes transparency on.
Yeah, well, we don't, because of the Democrats in Sacramento.
And if you are correct about some of these bills, which I'm not familiar with.
Because they don't get reported on your left-wing media, Lefty Al.
It's not about
broaden your horizon, you would find out about these.
Ladies and gentlemen,
when you talk about putting your head in the sand, Lefty
on
Al?
occasion, Lefty Al, and I'm big enough to admit that I, on occasion, will be educated by Righty Jim. He will never admit he's educated by Lefty Al, of course.
Because you push propaganda, I push facts. It's different.
Right.
If you go to RightyJim.com, you will see those facts.
Who's the toady
it is one of my
among
tenets
us
of the site
of
my political
of Donald
ideology.
J. Trump?
So I already told you what on the Iran. So yes. So basically, what the Gavin story is to be, of course, Gavin's. And by the way, there's a great article that's put out there by Chris Rufo of the City Journal, I believe, or the Manhattan Institute, talking about 15 people that have all been convicted of corruption, that have all been in Gavin Newsom's orbit for the last 20 years in one role or another. And let us not forget that now. So the question is, who gave the dirt on Gavin? Who turned state's evidence on Gavin?
Well, what do you mean, like a whistleblower?
Yes, exactly. That's what the probes came from whistleblower complaints.
Well, I have no idea.
Could it be Dana, the former chief of staff, who is going to away for a while because of her and Javier Becerra's chief of staff, who are trying to defraud him out of $275,000 in campaign contributions?
I don't know. I mean, we shall see what this turns.
We shall see.
We shall see. I have no idea. I don't speculate on hypotheticals.
Oh, yes, you do. You do it all the time.
Okay, but not this one.
Yeah, because you don't want to, because this doesn't work in your favor.
It does not work. Ladies and gentlemen, it does not work in Lefty Al's favor.
Yes,
on a scale of 1 in mind. Go ahead.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being metaphysical truth, 1 being not really important at all. How do you rate this investigation into Gavin Newsom vis-a-vis his chances to run for the presidency in 2028?
Well, look, I wasn't giving Gavin the highest marks for his presidential. I don't know if it's going to affect his presidential run.
1 to 10.
It may actually bolster it.
1 to 10.
How this is going to affect him negatively or positively?
How it will.
It might affect him positively, especially if it's the Trump DOJ. If it's the Trump DOJ, he runs against Trump.
Again, do you not know the history of this?
the history.
The
I
Trump
think
DOJ that was following up on a whistleblower report during the Biden DOJ.
right. I do know the history.
2023
Right.
goes back a couple years.
Yeah.
So
I do know that.
this went to the Biden administration. Trump didn't just create this out of
no. I'm not
whole
saying
cloth.
that, but Trump is riding on it. Look,
1
on
to
your
10.
scale of 1 to 10, I don't know, Righty Jim. I would say in terms of hurting Gavin,
The effect on his campaign, 1 to 10. How many times do I have to repeat this?
maybe a 4.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay,
Yeah.
let us wrap the show up. We've been at this
Well,
for
we're
over
up
an
the
hour.
show, but before we go, we do have just a lightning round for us.
No lightning round, no time tonight, Lefty.
This week, I think the Supreme Court's going to have a few major
And when they
cases,
report, and when they do, we'll have a report on them next week.
including birthright citizenship, right,
Yeehaw.
Jim? And, yeah, and so that's a major.
You want to talk about? Let's see. So I will commit on the air to all of the people listening that I will start sending you daily classes every other day. So you'll do one. I'll do one.
We didn't talk in our lightning round about Ebola.
Yeah, we don't need to. So let's
well,
move
we
on.
do because
we don't.
We have the worst people in charge. We've got RFK in charge of vaccine skepticism,
you and your TDS,
and you guys cut U.S. aid off to Africa so that we spread Ebola.
Yeah, Lefty, do you want to talk
we
about
have climate. The highest Paris was over 100 degrees today, and hotter than 99% of the planet, including deserts, Righty Jim. And you're still denying climate change. We had
Lefty,
2
let's talk about
earthquakes.
the app.
Venezuela, California.
Is that Trump's fault too?
Well, why not?
Thank you.
The Nancy Guthrie case, which is sad.
Old news.
And what's not old news that we missed last week, wishing everybody a great Juneteenth. I hope everyone had a great Juneteenth.
And moving on to the wrap up. So you're going to talk about looking for people to beta test the app.
Beta test if you are serious about improving our public discourse.
From the left and the right. As you hear Lefty Al and Righty Jim do this every week.
You can go to clashingheads.com, the most valuable domain on the internet.
Probably not true.
Well, it will be.
Are you Joe Zuzu now?
This is. By the way, I didn't tell you where I was last week, and this is something.
Did I care?
Well, you should care. I was at the 4th annual AI Film Festival, which is really Righty Jim.
AI Film Festival or AFI Film Festival?
No, AI. All the films.
That was that thing you wanted. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I know. Remember
by
that.
AI. Ron Howard was involved.
Opie was there.
Huh?
Opie was there.
He was there in New York. I was here in Santa Monica, but it was fantastic.
Did the thing really go till 11 o'clock?
Oh yeah, even later. It was pretty good and packed.
You make any good contacts?
I did make some good contacts, and I certainly know people who are behind the scenes with this, but their AI is taking the world by storm, and it will also maybe do a little with Clashing Heads as well.
Well, that'd be good. I actually watched, there's a great one called, what is it? It's not Baby Trump. There's a guy does videos, about 3-minute AI videos of Baby Trump, and then there's Baby Elon, there's Baby Melania, there's Baby Biden, there's Baby Kamala,
that's cute.
Baby Rubio, Baby Waltz, and it depends on the episode. They keep them topical.
I like it.
And so like the one I just looked at tonight before we did the show, Elon bought the lot next to him and wants to steal his Wi-Fi for 2 days because his Starlink terminal is back ordered. They can't get him a Starlink terminal. And Melania's going, if you give him the password, I'm going back to New York.
I love
We're down at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, so they're very funny. And I mean, they're pretty well done. It's funny because there's another one that they do. This one is smart because it's really cartooned. The other one kind of does like it's cartoon, but it's more against like live backgrounds. And they'll have Trump they'll have again a baby Trump wearing the MAGA hat, but the AI can't render the MAGA hat, and it's just a bunch of gibberish letters in white on the top of the hat.
Oh, that's funny.
So they evidently, whatever it is, they're taxing the AI too much where it can't render everything. And I've seen that a lot with people that try to do that stuff where they render it, and you'll notice like the person does, or the person has a third arm, or like,
Oh yeah.
or there is no arm,
seven
or something,
fingers.
yeah, or 5 or 6 toes, or things
Yeah.
like that. And you've got to really be careful on those.
Well,
things.
we may. You'll see what happens with clashing heads in that world.
And I'm using AI in Midterm Monday, and I using a little bit of AI actually on the RightyJim.com site.
AI is absolutely.
But it's not something, as we tried to talk about earlier, it's not something you go to for current news. It is not a news source.
This is where Righty Jim and Lefty
I'm right,
Al
Lefty Al's
agree
wrong
to
again.
disagree. But
well,
that's
you're wrong.
the
It's not a
power,
question of disagreeing.
and you're wrong, Righty Jim.
No, I'm not.
And well, yeah, yes, you are.
All right, let's. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead and make your illogical case.
I'll make my illogical case. But for those who want to beta test, and that means you're serious about getting in this on the ground floor.
You got to spend some time in the app, please. Don't just download it for
true believers in political.
And that's why we're doing this site. Is this app is for people to basically have the left and the right to discard, because you don't have a lot of that. I watch so many videos of people going out to some of these No Kings protests or some of the Pride Month stuff, and they literally stand up there and say, "You're not allowed into this. You're not allowed to come here because we deem you to be a toxic person." Or the No Kings people that are basically telling people they can't drive down the street because they're protesting there. And there's crazy stuff on the left where they think that they own public spaces. We're not having any discourse amongst these people.
No,
we are having discourse between Lefty Al and myself.
I mean, I rather have the crazies on the left, because at least they're nicer. They'll invite you for tea.
No, they won't.
Right?
You should see these people that assault somebody because
really?
They won't leave the premise. They won't leave a public park.
Well, yeah, but I never.
They're lunatics, Lefty Al.
Lunatics. Okay, who were not lunatics but criminals. Okay.
Well, they are when they start assaulting
by
people.
Trump, by the way. So let's get back. If you go to clashingheads.com,
please,
you can please. I would say please.
I'm saying to the people, please do it.
Yes, please do it.
I heartily endorse this.
Yay, Righty Jim. He's actually
it has my seal of approval. Well, it does. I need to check it. Maybe it doesn't yet, but it probably does.
But the
not sure what the seal of approval
of
Righty Jim is worth.
Beta test will be just go down, scroll down to
whether you're an Android user or an iOS user.
On Android.
Yep.
Let us know, and we'll get you going on this. In the meantime, always enjoy the Clashing Heads podcast, available to you, as Moderate Mike would say, on YouTube, right?
I'm not Righty. Sorry,
Heads.
Clashing_heads. Excuse me. Yes.
Spotify, Clashing Heads. We're in social media. You just look us up. And then, how's that sound, Righty Jim?
Sounds good, Lefty. I'll just leave anything out.
Everyone well for the next week ahead. It should be a good one. It's the beginning of summer, right, Righty Jim?
Summer began a couple of days ago. Yes, we just passed the solstice.
We are now, I don't know if you've noticed.
Days are going to start getting shorter.
Exactly. Have you started to notice that?
No, I'm not.
Well, I have. I'm in tune. The climate with the earth, I'm in tune. How's that?
You obsess.
I am obsessed about all things good.
Except reading email.
Except reading your email. Okay, Righty Jim. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night also to Moderate Mike, wherever you are.
Yep.
And whatever your assignment is.
Yes.
Okay.
We're out.
Okay, we're out.